Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Evolve updates. This week it's Evolve update 2.15 as I believe. The gameplay you're currently watching is us playing the dam for the first time, or my time first playing the dam. It was kind of funny and I hope you guys enjoy watching that. So firstly, as I've already said, we have the dam. Finally, a new map. I mean, I know a lot of us have been waiting for this. It's been a while since we've had a new map. Like I said, it takes a long time for TRS to make maps, of course, and to be fair, I don't mind that, because as long as they come out balanced and friendly to everyone, because I know that TRS want everyone to have a good experience when they play the game first. So having a map like this, making sure that every map is okay is fine by me. So first of all, let's talk about the dam map, because I've only played a little bit of it, and I mean, of course, there's a few things I guess I could mention. I mean, of course, I love every map. I mean, I think that first off, dam looks great. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I really do like the dam at the moment. But the first thing that we noticed is that it's very flat. Now, that doesn't bother me in any tool. I mean, I'm fine with flat terrain. I mean, it doesn't bother me one bit, but it may do for certain monsters. I don't know how, because for example, we were trying a few different monsters on this map, and some monsters benefit a lot from the flat terrain and it really works well for them, and then some monsters it doesn't work as well. But it's preference, really. I mean, in my opinion, it might be a little bit too flat, maybe a few more bumps and stuff, but to be honest, I don't mind. I quite like it. It's kind of like you have two hills on either side, and then they both like come into the middle to the down part, so it does work quite well. The other thing, though, we had a bit of a problem with this map is the line of sight breaking. Now, I know that line of sight breaking is very important in Evolve, because against comps such as the chase comp, if you don't break line of sight, or even the dot comp, you're going to get fucked. Breaking line of sight is a very key mechanic in Evolve, and if you can't do it, then you definitely get punished for it. So I feel Dam might need a few more. I don't want to say walls, but just I don't know how they could do it, but just breaking line of sight on Dam seems to be much harder than any other map. One thing also is that when we fought at the relay it's very flat now. Like, if any of you have gone to relay and tried to fight there, it's extremely flat. Like, you can there's nothing to juke around. It's just a flat area for a flat area to fight at. Not really anything you can duke around, which I guess is kind of fair again. It makes the game fair, I guess, for certain monsters that don't benefit from flat terrain or stuff like that. Like, again, for example, Goliath found it very hard when there was pillars near the relay, as I'm sure many of you know. So having the flat terrain, I guess, makes it fair for everybody. One other thing that we noticed that was not in the map was buffs. Now, I don't know if that's because TRS are obviously still deciding on where they want to put the buffs in this map, which is absolutely fine, because the map at the moment is only in custom gameplay. So if you can't find it when you're searching for arcade or whatever you want to do, you won't be finding it, because at the moment the map is only in custom. So if you want to play the map, you have to go into custom with a couple of mates, or you can just go in there on your own and play with bots. Either way, you can only get it in customs. But overall, I'm really happy what TRS have done with Dam. I think they've done a really good job of making this map pretty balanced to the best of their extent, and also I can't wait to see what else they're going to do. I mean, I can't wait as well when they bring this into Hunt, Beta, and also Arcade mode, which will be very interesting, because I feel like a lot more people want to play Dam at the moment, and if you can only play it in customs, then that's only a small amount of people that actually are going to be playing it. So I hope they bring it into Arcade and Hunt Beta very soon. So, what's next is the Wraith change. Now, we all know that Wraith has been going under a refractor for quite a while now, and we finally got her released just the other day, and to be honest, she's pretty fucking good now. I'm not gonna lie, TRS has done a pretty decent job with Wraith. Like, she definitely feels a lot more powerful and a lot more balanced when playing against her now, or playing with her. So, I'll give you a quick rundown of what they've really changed with her. So, the first two things were her abilities, so Decoy and Supernova. Now, the main problems with these two abilities were, first of all, Decoy was just, you couldn't balance Decoy. Decoy was just going to go, if you buffed it, it was too OP. If you nerfed it, it was too underpowered. Decoy was never going to be in a right spot. Supernova, however, as well, the problem with Supernova was that it was a bubble. And what you basically did is, if you went outside the bubble, Supernova would no longer be damaging you. So there was a very easy way to counter what Supernova was doing to you. So both of these abilities have been addressed, and TRS have kind of fixed them to the best I guess they can. So first of all, we have Phantom instead of Decoy. Now, what Phantom does It's pretty similar to how decoy behaves. Like it damage hunters when it's near you and stuff like that. But one thing they have done is first of all given it a health bar now, so we can actually see how much damage we're doing to the decoy or the phantom, either way. So now we actually know how much damage we're doing to it, like similar to how Mimic works. And it also sneak pounces hunters when you leave it in an area where the hunters are coming from. But overall, the ability Phantom just now feels a lot more balanced, and I really hope that TRS don't change it in any way, because I feel if they do, it will become that sort of scenario of it being too overpowered or too underpowered again. Supernova had a very simple change. All it did was it removed the bubble of where Supernova was active and just gave the Wraith Supernova wherever it went. So if you use Supernova, you could basically teleport to someone who's really far away and destroy... Well, basically just start attacking them, so you didn't have to stay in the bubble, which was really good because Supernova was incredibly hard to use against a good team that really positioned themselves very widely, and as soon as they went out the bubble, it was very hard. So, we have the new ability, or new passive ability of Wraith, and I really fucking like this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I really, really like this ability. I mean, I know that Dianame's been kind of enjoying this new ability. So, it's called Isolation. Now, the way Isolation works is if you're 20 meters more than away than the hunters, and you're 60 meters near to the Wraith, then you get an isolation build up for every, I believe, 5 seconds that you're not near the hunter team. So what this basically does is that every time you're not near your hunter team, it will build up every 5 seconds, and it will do 60 health damage to you when every isolation you get. So I mean, the best way to describe it is if a hunter has left his group and he's near to the monster, you're going to be taking isolation every 5 seconds, and it can build up to a maximum of 5 isolation. So that basically means you're going to be taking 5 times 60. I believe it's something like this. I mean, I'm probably wrong, but I believe it's something like that. When you take a melee attack from the monster. So to make it sound a little bit easier for you, when you leave the group, you're basically going to be timesing up damage from the monster from his first melee attack. So when the monster comes in for an attack on the person who has 5 times isolation, their first melee attack will be incredibly strong. And this is what I really, really like, because it's very balanced, and it basically gives Wraith a chance to kind of get in and get that very quick strike that it's always been needing, because that was the main problem with Wraith. You mean, Abduction was really cool in that it did isolate a hunter, but you didn't really have that like initial first hit on someone when it first happened. So I'm really happy that they've put in isolation. I think it's a really fair and balanced ability that punishes those who leave their group and also rewards those who stay. So, and 20 meters is not very far. Like you've got to stay real close to your hunter team if you don't want isolation to kick in. So you've got to be very careful. And I think it's about 500 HP when it's fully stacked up. I'm probably wrong, but someone else will have to correct me on that. Now, there is one last thing about the Wraith that I want to mention. Now, at the moment, that when we've been playing against the Wraith, she feels pretty powerful, but I want to see a Wraith that can beat the Chase comp, because that was always Wraith's main problem with Sunny. Because the problem with Sunny is you couldn't get rid of the shield drone without using a Warp Blast, or, I don't know, well, yeah, Warp Blast pretty much was your own, or you had to melee attack it, which was really annoying. So, the only way that I believe that Wraith is fully balanced is that they've made it so she can counter Sunny in some form or matter. I have no idea how they do that, but yeah, that's what I would consider a balanced Wraith. The last two things in the update was that Arena mode has been finally moved into Arcade mode. Nothing majorly different, it's just now you can play Arena mode in Arcade with all the new maps. So, give it a try. It's a good way to really practice your skills and learn and how to fight against a certain monster without having to basically play Hunt. So, it's a really good game mode, but yeah, it's all about practicing, but it's only in Arcade, of course. And really lastly in the update, Slim got a 3% heal nerf. Basically they took off 5 from all of his healing, so his self-healing, his healing on teammates, and when a hunter's down, his healing from that. So I know Slim needed a nerf, but who knows if this will make the difference. Probably not, so yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how Slim goes on. So now that all that's out of the way, we can get to some questions, because I know a few of you have been giving me some questions and I'm happy to answer them. So just bear with me a second. So first one we got here is from Jay Singh. Of course, this is the part of the video where I can't pronounce your names as well, which is going to be fun. So, Jay. So, do you think Laz is in a good spot? I really don't see much of his gameplay at high level. Now, the reason why Laz isn't used at high level gameplay is because he's a very risky pick. Like, Laz can pay off majorly. Like, if you know how to use Laz well, he pays off immensely. But using Laz effectively at a high level when there's so many other good hunters that you can pick from, that's the sort of counter to it. So if they made Laz more powerful, that he's like more of a better pick than Val, for example, then sure, Laz would be. I mean, Laz is viable. Let me get that out of the way. Laz is a very viable medic. It's just there are better options of medics to pick than picking something as risky as Laz, because Laz is a very gamble, risky pick. So Laz is definitely Laz is good at the moment, but he's just very risky. Like, it's a very big gamble when you pick Laz in competitive play. The Smiler asks, the Smiler ripped those people in Alton Towers. If any of you know about that, but yeah, the Smiler. So, what's your opinion on the fact that things like Hank's Orbital and Cabot's Dust Tag can now go through roofs of caves and stuff like that? Right, okay. Now, this is a big one. Now, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I'm really, really happy that they've done this, because it pissed me off so many times on weather control when we went down to those caves and the support would just get focused, and without that orbital, it made Hank really, really weak. It's basically like taking away a hunter's ability. That's how strong the caves were for a monster. So, in my opinion, I really feel like that needed to be done. I can understand why it's kind of hated as well, because it's made orbitals when people are evolving in caves or underneath roofs really damaging now. So you can always get like an orbital off now if you see someone evolving in a cave. But in my opinion, it was needed. It just needed to be done, because the amount of times that we had lost a game or just been some shit had happened because we couldn't use the orbital in a cave or an area, it just made the game really unbalanced and unfair. In my opinion, this is my opinion. You know, I'm not saying that it did make the game unbalanced. It's just, in my opinion, it felt like it made it unbalanced, like taking away that support ability. You like my... What the fuck is this? You like me. I think that's your name, dude. What's the best way to make or get into a competitive team? Good question. So, the best way to get into a competitive team is by getting people. And the best way to get people, I guess, is by either on the forums. I mean, if you go onto the TRS forums, there's always people on there. Like, there's plenty of people that are always looking to play. Plenty of people that are, I mean, I went on the other day and people were asking for an assault player. And people, you know, as long as you, I mean, if you just go on there and type in looking for team and stuff like that, there are plenty of ways to find teams. And then also, if you go into the battle fire, if you join the battle fire and you go in as a free agent, you're most likely as well to be hooked up with some guys as well that you can play with, and you can make friends by doing that. I understand that you may not be with people you want to meet, and you know, you may not like and stuff like that. So personally, I definitely recommend the forums, because that's the best place to go if you're trying to find people. But also, if you're just in pub matches, just try and talk to people. Maybe try and get them to get a mic, and maybe, who knows, you may become best friends. That's such a bad way of describing it. But yeah, the forums is definitely the best way, mate. If you want to get into a competitive team on Evolve, just go onto the forums. Look, there'll probably be somewhere that a Fred will say, I'm looking for a teammate, you know, I'm looking for a trapper for my team and stuff like that. That's the best way to do it. Cameron, you ask, is there a reason why Wraiths are rarely used? Because I haven't had a chance to play Stage 2 as I play console. Now, the reason, well, it's funny you say that question. Well, so in this update, Wraith has got a massive change. She's got a passive ability, and 2 of her abilities have been refracted. And I have already explained why Wraith really wasn't used. It was basically because of her two of her abilities were unreliable. Like, they just, well, they got nerfed and they got too OP sometimes. So she was just unreliable as a pick. So Wraith is definitely now, in my opinion, I'm not going to go as far as say viable, but she just definitely feels a lot more powerful, in my opinion. Other than that, I don't think I've got any more questions. I am currently working on a guide, and that should be out either with this video or very soon after this video. If it's not, I do apologise. I am trying to get them out. I know a lot of you have wanted them. So other than that, I guess there's nothing else to say. Let me know how I can improve on the video. Let me know what you thought of it. And yeah, thanks for watching.